Hi folks, we're off again, another journey into the unknown, and I've given you a little schedule of what I'm hoping to do today, so if I forget anything do let me know. So today I'm going to look at progress on the number 3. You know, I started that a little while ago, stripped it down, did a bit of preparation. Well, I've got the old paint out, and unfortunately for those of you who wanted purple or pink, nobody stumped up the donations to make that happen, so I've picked a colour of my own choice, so I just hope some of you like it. Then I'm going to look at the progress I've made on the scrub plane, done a little bit of cutting on that, a bit of planing on it, and we're going to be starting to join the sole, or having a look at how we can join the sole to it. So let's keep you entertained for half an hour or so. So let's get going. Let's head over to see what's happening in the plane. So there we go. As you can see, it's a little bit like a Kunz green, but not exactly the same. Anyway, I like it. Interesting to see what your thoughts are on that one. Now, you also notice we've got the old iron that I'm going to use in the scrub plane, so I'm going to clean that up again, and I'm going to do some work on that. It's folded at the ends a little bit, bent over to get under the tyres, so one end is going to be recut and beveled. For the blade, it's a bit unfortunate because it's got a nice curve on it already, but I think it would be easier to cut and reinstate that. So as far as the number 3 is concerned, everything's cleaned up. I will replace these washers because that rust is actually quite deep, so I think it would be easier just to replace those. Next time, when this paint is nice and hardened up, I'll start putting things back together and see how well it cuts, because I've done some work on lapping the frog into the sole, or into the body I should say. So hopefully you might see there some little milling marks where I've filed and then very carefully lapped with some diamond paste to get a good fit between the frog and the body. But there's a little bit of paint to clean up around the edges on these. As I say, I let it harden a bit longer before I try and assemble it all together. I've got some videos on that, and I'll show you that before I assemble it next time. Or either next time or next Monday, not quite sure what day that'll be yet. This blade needs to be prepared from the tyre iron. And I'm going to scrape that paint off because I don't want to burn it off. Never know what it's got in it, lead or something like that. So I'll just be using a scraper for that. Shan't bore you with that today, but we will head over and see the scrub plane.
Midnight Joker asks, when did Ryobi start making hand plates?
Always pleased to give them a bit of publicity. Now my remote switcher for the old cameras, I didn't label it up, so I'm going to be pressing buttons and it could be going to any old camera, so that should be interesting today. Let's head over to, oh that's me, that's what we were on, that one, there we go. So at the bench we'll look at the scrub plane. And bear with me because I'm taking photographs of this because I may well be writing an article. So a quick photograph of those parts. Cool. So last time you would have seen I had a piece of marble wood, very similar to this. Well actually that was the end of it. And I cut a section long enough to do the sides of the plane with. And I ripped it. I think I may have shown you the rip. If I didn't, I'll be able to show you that in the rushes next time. So I ripped that actually into 3 pieces. So we have those 3 pieces like so. took the middle one out, flattened them because they did in fact move quite a bit. So we've got two flat sides. Sized them up height wise with the piece of beech for the midsection, so the toe and the heel and the bed. And I cut, I think I may have marked out for the mouth, the bed, so I cut that as well, as you can see. So now we get one side, a toe, a heel and bed, and the other side. And if I'd been a bit stricter with myself last time, we'd have virtually been there with the whole plane. But for some reason I accepted the challenge of putting a sole on it. So I've cut myself a sole, and not just that, but I said I would do a dovetailed sole. So that's what I'm going to be laying out for you now. This is something I've not done before, so it's interesting and it may go completely wrong. I haven't even thought about it other than 5 minutes before I started today, so fun indeed. I'm not going to go overboard. I'm going to put 3 dovetails on each side of the bed. So I'm going to need to divide each side into 7 pieces. So I've got myself, let's move that out of the way, got myself a pair of dividers. I know it's roughly this sort of size, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a little bit more, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oh that'll do. So now I'll put it in the vise because it does wobble a little bit. I'll mark off my 7 sections down each side. I'm just thinking to myself, is 7 right? 1, 2, probably. Hope so. So if I move it up here, you should be able to see. So, oops. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many continents have we got represented today in the chat? If we have anyone in from the States, I'm getting a bit worried that with the cold weather you're having there, your new president might forget all his ideas about global warming.
We have the absurdist cat from the States. We have Midnight Joker, Peter. I don't know if Alexander's still here. We have animals from Europe.
Cool. Some names there I don't recognise, but then I've got a bad memory. So that's given me 7 down this side, so we'll leave one as sole, then a dovetail in that area, and there and there. And I've just, you won't see that they're lined up on the other side, but I will square them across. No reason not to. goodness that side's as long as the other side. Any comments on the colour other than Ryobi? I know you're very disappointed, Trenet, about it not being purple. Could always have Purple Heart handles on it.
You could do. Are you planning to replace them?
Well, the one's broken. I haven't really checked to see whether it will go together nicely or not. I do have some other plans which for the moment will stay in my head. And dovetail there, and there. Now, how am I going to do this? Because I don't want the dovetails going straight across like so. I want them at an angle. And that sort of angle is wild. 1, 2, 3, 4. But heck, why don't we do it like that? Just for the fun of it. Can't see that clearly. I hope we don't have any plane makers in today because apart from you, Shrenik, you'd probably tell me off.
I wouldn't call myself a plane maker, I'm merely attempting.
Wondering if anyone's going to comment on the angles that I'm putting these dovetails in across the bed.
1 in 4.
Hmm?
That looks like it's probably a 1 in 4.
I'll show you in a second. With having these all together quite close to each other, it's going to be quite important that I get them nice and accurately cut and marked out. Otherwise, I'll never get the thing together. Or if I get it together, the side profile of the dovetails will have gaps in it and it'll be a right mess. So I've marked out there for the diagonal dovetails, or at least where they're going to go. So you'll see one on this end of the plane, right up near, say, the heel, but it'll actually come out halfway along the sole. So I better actually make some slopes to the edge of the dovetails. And the other thing was, because they're going to be quite long and sliding quite a long way, I'm going to put them slightly tapered as well, so they go together a little bit easier when they've got glue on them. Little dovetail marker, I'm going to go for 1 in 8, I think. That should look quite nice. So if I put one in there, decide how far down it's going to come. I was thinking about halfway. I can't stick the rest of the plane together yet because I haven't quite determined how far apart the pieces are going to be for the iron to come out. And because I haven't done that, I can't do the matching dovetails in the rest of the plane. So let's get this one side cut, and I'll probably make a sample piece to join to this, then glue these parts together and mark out for the dovetails on those. If I do this with a pen, it'll be easier for you to see. So dovetail there. Another one there. Now I'm marking them out, I'm wondering whether you'll actually see 1 in 8 when I show the plane on a video. It's quite shallow. I've marked in for dovetails there, and then I shall transfer those marks across here, but what I'll do is use a bevel that just makes them a little bit tighter on the other side.
There's no chatter, nothing going on. Surprising today.
Oh, interesting.
Any questions for Mitch?
I thought what I was doing was quite boring. I thought there'd be quite a lot of chat going on. Maybe people are wondering what on earth it is I am doing. I'm beginning to wonder what I'm doing. Hoping I'm doing it right.
Claudia's asking what's happening now.
Hi Claudia, I'm marking out the sliding tapered dovetails to attach the sole to the scrub plane. And I think, did I put that in the wrong place? I put the wrong angle on it. So I think we're going to end up with 4 tails on one side and 3 on the other. But that'll do. That'll be confusing, won't it? That people will think, how did you do that? Let's make sure we use 1 in 8 again, otherwise it really will be a weird dovetail. Now, the marks I'm making for the dovetails at this end are going to be just a guide for where it's going, and they're not going to be where I end my dovetail. Because I've done it in pen, it's not going to be particularly accurate. So I'll have to go on my saw cuts. But it'd be nice to have it to show you roughly what I intend cutting. Okay, so after all that boredom, here we have dovetails on the one side, going off at an angle through the sole to the other side. They're tapered because if they were perfectly parallel, then pushing the two pieces together, lining all three up together and pushing those with glue in them, if they're prepared, a good snug fit would be virtually impossible. So tapering them, it's going to be really easy to put the plane on, move it into position, virtually just sliding on the glue at the bottom before the walls of the dovetails come together tightly. And that's another reason why I've prepared this sole actually a bit wider than the plain body. So I'll design it so that it goes together almost flush on the far side of the tapers, but then when I put it together I can push it as tight as possible and still have plenty of material left over on the other side. And that can be trimmed off afterwards. It is lovely, isn't it? I can't read the mark on it. It's one of those ones where... Come on. That's because I got it zoomed in, I think. See, it's not particularly clear.
It's not marbles. If Pigs is watching, you might know. You might be able to tell from the general shape of it.
I mean, I've looked at it with a glass and I can't make out what's written on it. So it does have "Made in England" at the bottom in capitals.
Either way, it looks beautiful.
Oh, I haven't marked how far it's going to go down that side. How ridiculous. Because it's coming through the end, I've absolutely no idea of what angle it should be. Oh, the joy! Actually, let's go with I thought I was going to have a shallower saw cut there, so I was going with a cross cut, but this is more towards the rip side. There's my little gauge. go. Right, so let's put a cut down the middle as well, just to help us get that out. Did anyone see Derek Jones's table that he posted on Instagram today?
Not yet, but I'll have to have a look.
He said he wanted to challenge himself to come up with a table design that he could build within a day. So it's a lovely design, very good looking. Anyway, it put me in mind of something that I could do possibly on a longer live stream. Actually try and do a complete build of something. So maybe a simple little side table.
I've just posted a link to Derek's post in the live stream chat.
Super. What did you think of the design?
It's very simple, very easy to build. I'm not sure I've got any glues that could glue up the top for that table if I were to laminate it together in a day though. Most of the glues that I use take at least 24 hours to fully cure.
I'm not sure he's doing an awful lot with it once it's glued up. That's too vicious that you couldn't perhaps do after a couple of hours with a PVA. Something worth experimenting with glues, because yes, you get your full strength after 24 hours with PVA, but you get an awful lot quite quickly.
I do like buying a 5 litre gallon of bonding PVA or builder's PVA than to use as glue.
Yeah, you like it.
It's ridiculously cheap and it works quite well.
I like the 501.
Oh yeah, I use 501 sometimes as well.
I've never had a failure with it.
But I've had it where I've had a very slight gap in the joint, the glue still the joint. I've had it blacken up when I apply finish.
Ah, well.
That's the only thing I haven't liked about it. It's a bit like Type No.3, it goes black, it reacts to water.
I'm sure you won't be leaving any gaps soon, Trey.
Hopefully not.
What you can do in those sorts of situations, though, if it's a relatively large joint, you can put the 501 in the middle and just a bit of type bond 2 around the edges.
I could, yeah.
The difference in price really is amazing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's a ridiculous difference in price. Type 1's great, it's brilliant, but it's not my first choice because of its expense. Midnight Joke is asking, is that a light Insta chisel?
It is.
He says that the shape is very similar to his vintage Ward and Kane aristocrat chisels.
I don't know whose they copied. I would have imagined it would have been a Stanley.
They're very similar to the Stanley sweetheart chisels, I think.
Yeah. It's odd that they choose to copy a design rather than come up with their own. I suppose they're known for it and people like it. Kind of suggests that they believe Stanley got it virtually spot on.
They've started reproducing the Stanley sweetheart chisels, and they've done everything right, apart from the side of the chisels. The two things that they'll take them with. They made them as carbon chisels.
This is the new Stanley ones.
Yeah, they copied the Stanley sweethearts, the original Stanley sweethearts.
Yeah. I think the large router planes is going to be too much to handle on here, so using the little baby, or mid-size I should say, record 722. Very hard on the thumbs as well. I'll give the other one a go. I've got the half-inch cutter in this one. I get about a 1/16 of an inch on the corner of the board, resting on the base of the plane. So maybe it'll be alright. So, oh god, that's large, isn't it? So, there we get the idea. Dovetail in the side and it's exiting through the middle of the front or back, I haven't decided, of the plane. So, 3.5 more of those to do. And that side will be ready. Hopefully they'll be a bit quicker than that one was.
Mitch, I think you should do it so that the sole is tightening onto the plane every time you try to stay shaping, even though you're fluent in. If you do it in such a way that you take the correct time.
Makes a lot of sense. Yep, I'll do that. So I'll put the narrower end on the sole facing the front of the plane. So I've now completed the front end of the sole. Now it did tear out a little bit here where the router plane slipped. Couldn't keep it balanced properly, but that's going to be covered by the body of the plane anyway. I think we'll be okay. So, all being well, I shall see some of you on Wednesday evening at 9 o'clock. Okay folks, cheerio.